Hi, my friend. Welcome to Glow and Grow channel, a place where you can learn English and grow at the same time in a simple and calm way. I'm really happy you're here today. Let me share something with you. Not just as a host, but as an English teacher. Every week, I meet many learners in our online community. And honestly, I see the same story again and again. Many people tell me, I want to speak English, but I'm not ready yet. Or, my English is still bad, I need more time. And I understand that feeling. You listen, you learn, you try. But when it's time to speak, you feel shy. You feel nervous, and you stop yourself. You think, maybe later, maybe when you're better. But after a while, nothing really changes. You're still in the same place. Not because you're not trying, but because you're waiting. Waiting until you feel ready to begin. I used to be like that too. There was a time when I really wanted to start creating English listening videos and share them online. I had a lot of ideas. I watched many videos, learned from other creators, and kept thinking about how to make it better. But I didn't start. Not because I couldn't, but because I felt it wasn't good enough yet. I thought, my content is too simple. I'll start when everything looks better. But that later kept moving further away. Days passed, then months, and I was still in the same place. I was learning, planning, thinking, but I was not creating anything. Then one day, something changed my thinking. I realized I didn't need perfect content to start. I needed to start creating to make it better. It sounds simple, but it changed everything. So I made a very small decision. I would create and post one simple video. Just one. Not perfect, not long, just real. The first few days felt uncomfortable. I didn't know what to say. I made mistakes. I felt a little awkward. But I kept going, because 1 minute felt possible. After 1 week, it became easier. After 1 month, I didn't feel as afraid anymore. And after a few months, something surprising happened. I could speak more naturally. Not perfectly, but freely. And more importantly, I started to trust myself. And now, as an English teacher, I see the same story in many of my students. Let me tell you about one of them. She joined our online English community. But for the first few sessions, she didn't speak at all. She turned on the class, listened quietly, and left. She told me later, I'm afraid. I think my English is too bad. So I didn't ask her to speak a lot. I just gave her one simple task. Next time, just say one sentence. That's enough. In the next session, she was very nervous. I could hear it in her voice. She spoke slowly, and she made a few mistakes. But she did it. One sentence, and after that, she smiled. The next time, she spoke again. Then again, and slowly, she changed. After a few weeks, she started to join conversations. After a few months, she was one of the most active people in the group. Not because she became perfect, but because she stopped waiting and started where she was. Let me give you a simple image. Imagine you are standing at the bottom of a mountain. You look up, and the top feels very far away. It feels too big, too hard, so you don't move. You think, I'll climb when I'm stronger. But you don't become stronger by standing still. You become stronger by taking one step, then another step. Your English is the same. Your life is the same. Right now, you may feel like you are not ready. Maybe your English is still basic. Maybe you don't feel confident. But that is exactly where you need to start. Not from a perfect place, but from a real place. Most people stay stuck not because they are weak, but because they keep waiting. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for the right time. Waiting to feel good enough. But confidence comes after action, not before. So instead of asking, "Am I ready?" ask a better question. What can I do today with what I have right now? Maybe today you speak one sentence. Maybe you listen for 10 minutes. Maybe you join a small group and just say hello. It feels small, but it is real. And real action is what changes your life. And something else happens when you start. You don't just improve your English. You start to feel different. You feel a little more confident, a little more open, a little more alive. You stop feeling stuck because you are finally moving. That's why I created this channel, and also our small English learning community. Not for perfect people, but for real people. People who are still learning, still making mistakes, but still showing up. Because you don't need to be perfect to belong. You just need to start. So today, don't wait for a better version of yourself. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Even one small step is enough. Before we end, I want to ask you one simple question. If you stop waiting today, what is one small thing you can do right now? Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. It really means a lot to me. I'm truly happy that we could spend this time together. If something in this episode connected with you, just remember, you're not alone in this journey. You're doing better than you think. And if you ever feel stuck or need a place to practice and grow, you can always come join us. We're all learning, making mistakes, and improving step by step, together. Take it slow, be gentle with yourself, and I'll be right here with you in the next episode. If you are building your life, your skills, and your future, you are exactly where you need to be. Now, take a deep breath. Slow down, and let's begin. Today, I want to tell you something very honest. The path to success is not clean, not pretty, and not something you can always show on Instagram. Many people think success looks organized, peaceful, and perfect. But in reality, it often looks messy, confusing, and even lonely. When people are building something great, their life can feel out of control. They may not have balance. They may not feel ready. They may even doubt themselves. But they keep going. And that is what makes the difference. So if your life feels messy right now, it does not mean you are failing. It may mean you are building. Instead of trying to look perfect, focus on what really matters. There are 3 simple things you need to focus on: working, learning, and serving. It sounds simple, but if you repeat these 3 things every day, they can completely change your life. Let's start with the first one, working. You need to take action. Not just thinking, not just planning, not just dreaming. Action. Many people stay in their head. They think too much. They wait for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never comes. You don't need to be ready. You just need to start. Start small. Start imperfect. Do it even if you feel unsure. Because action creates clarity. When you start doing something, you begin to understand what works and what doesn't. If you wait until everything is perfect, you will never begin. Now the second one, learning. You must become a lifelong learner. The world is always changing. If you stop learning, you stop growing. But learning does not mean just watching videos or reading books. Real learning means understanding and applying. Try to keep a beginner's mindset. This means you stay open, curious, and ready to learn new things. Even if you already know something, ask yourself, what else can I learn here? This mindset helps you grow faster than most people. Also, remember this: learning is earning. The more you learn, the more value you can create. And the more value you create, the more opportunities come to you. Now, the third one, serving. This is something many people forget. Success is not only about you. It is also about what you give to others. Use your skills, your knowledge, and your energy to help people. You don't need to do something big. You can start small. Share your ideas. Help someone understand something. Create content that makes people feel better or think differently. When you focus on serving, you build real value. And real value always comes back to you in some way. So remember this simple loop. Work, learn, serve. Work, learn, serve. Repeat it every day. This simple process creates momentum. And momentum is very powerful. When you have momentum, things start to feel easier. You feel more confident. You see progress. Now let's talk about something else very important. The people you learn from, the people you follow, the people you spend time with, they have a strong impact on your life. If you spend time with people who think small, you will think small. If you listen to people who complain, you will complain. But if you learn from people who grow, you will grow. So, how do you choose the right people to learn from? There are two simple things to look for. First, they have the results you want. This is very important. If you want to learn about business, learn from someone who has built a real business. If you want to learn about health, learn from someone who is healthy. Results matter. It may sound obvious, but many people ignore this. They listen to advice from people who do not have real experience. And this can slow them down. Second, they match your values and your style. You don't need to copy someone completely. You need to feel comfortable with their way of thinking. When you listen to them, you should feel inspired, not stressed. You should feel more like yourself, not less. Because success is not only about results. It is also about how you feel while building your life. The right mentor does not only teach you how to succeed, they help you become a better version of yourself. And here is something important to remember. You don't need to meet these people in real life. Today, you can learn from books, podcasts, videos, and online content. You can build your own circle of mentors. So be careful with what you watch, what you read, and who you listen to, because it shapes your mind. Now, let's bring everything together in a simple way you can follow every day. Wake up and ask yourself, what can I do today? Do one small action. That is your work. Learn one small idea. That is your learning. Help one person, even in a small way. That is your service. It does not need to be big. It just needs to be consistent. Some days will feel slow. Some days will feel hard. You may feel like nothing is changing. But trust the process. Because one day, everything will connect, and you will realize that all those small, messy, imperfect days were building something strong. So don't wait for your life to look perfect. Don't wait for everything to be ready. Start now. Stay simple. Stay consistent. Work, learn, serve, and repeat. Today, I want to share a different idea with you. Something very simple, but very easy to forget. Your life is not late. Your life is not behind. Your life is moving in its own time. Let me ask you to imagine something. Imagine you are standing at a train station. Many trains arrive and leave. Some trains move very fast. Some move slowly. Some are full of people. Some are quiet. And as you stand there, you start to look at other trains. You see people moving quickly, going to different places, doing different things. And slowly, you begin to feel something. You feel like you are too slow. You feel like you are missing something. You feel like you should be on a different train. But here is the truth. That station is your life. And those trains are other people's journeys. Each train has its own time, its own direction, its own destination. And just because someone else is moving faster, does not mean you are late. It only means you are on a different path. Many of us spend too much time looking at other people's lives. We compare. We question ourselves. We think, why am I not there yet? Why is my life not like that? Why do I feel so slow? And without realizing it, we stop seeing our own journey. But your life is not a race. It is not something you need to finish quickly. It is something you are meant to experience, step by step. Let me share a simple example. Think about learning English. Some people learn very fast. They speak confidently in a short time. Others take longer. They move slowly. They make more mistakes. They feel shy. If you compare yourself all the time, you may feel discouraged. You may feel like you are not good enough. You may even want to give up. But if you stay on your own path, something different happens. You improve a little every day. You understand a little more. You feel a little more confident. And one day, you look back and realize that you have come much further than you thought. Growth is not always fast, but it is always happening. Now, I want you to think about your own life. Maybe there are things you wanted to do, but you have not done yet. Maybe there are goals you have not reached. Maybe there are moments when you feel like you are falling behind. That feeling is very human. We all feel it sometimes. But here is something important to remember. Just because you cannot see big results right now does not mean nothing is happening. Your life is like a quiet river. Sometimes the water moves fast. Sometimes it moves slowly. Sometimes it feels calm. Sometimes it feels unclear. But the river is always moving forward, even when it looks still on the surface. And you are like that too. Even on the days when you feel tired, even on the days when you do not feel motivated, even on the days when you feel lost, something inside you is still learning, still changing, still growing. You may not notice it, but it is there. In my opinion, one of the most peaceful things you can learn is to stop fighting your own timing. To stop telling yourself that you should be somewhere else, that you should be faster, better, more successful. Instead, you can say, I am here, and that is okay. I am moving, and that is enough. There is a quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare your life to others, you lose the ability to see your own progress, your own beauty, your own quiet growth. But when you return to your own path, something changes. You feel lighter. You feel calmer. You begin to trust your journey. Let me give you a small image. Imagine you are planting a seed in the ground. You water it every day. You take care of it. But for many days, nothing appears. The ground looks the same. It feels like your effort is invisible. If you compare your seed to a big tree, you may feel disappointed. You may think, this is not working. But if you stay patient, if you continue, one day a small green leaf appears, then it grows. Slowly, quietly, but surely. Your life is like that seed. Your effort, your patience, your small daily actions, they are all part of your growth, even if you cannot see the result yet. Now, I want you to pause for a moment. Think about where you are right now in your life. Not where you want to be, not where others are, but where you are. And instead of judging it, try to accept it. You are here. You are still trying. You are still learning, and that matters. You do not need to rush your life. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to keep going, in your own way, at your own pace. Because when you stop comparing, when you stop rushing, when you start accepting your journey, you begin to see something very beautiful. You begin to see that your life has always been moving. Not loudly, not quickly, but quietly. Step by step, just like a river. Just like a growing seed. Just like something that is slowly, gently becoming what it is meant to be. So today, don't worry too much about how fast you are going. Don't worry too much about where others are. Just take one small step. Learn one small thing. Be a little kinder to yourself. And trust that it is enough. Because your life is not behind. Your life is not late. Your life is simply unfolding. In its own time, in its own way, and that is exactly how it is meant to be. Today, I'm genuinely happy. Because this morning I received a message from someone who has been quietly listening to this podcast for a while. And they told me that recently, for the first time, they were able to speak English with confidence. Without overthinking every word, without being afraid of making mistakes. What touched me the most is that nothing about them suddenly became perfect. Their vocabulary didn't magically double. Their grammar wasn't flawless. But something deeper changed. They started to trust themselves. And it made me realize something powerful. Sometimes, the biggest shift in your life doesn't come from learning more. It comes from finally believing that you already have what it takes. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Trust your potential. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever felt like you could do more, but you don't really believe it yet? Like there is something inside you, but you're not sure if it's enough? If that sounds like you, you're not alone. And today, we're going to talk about how to trust your potential in a way that feels real, simple, and possible for you to start right away. There's a famous quote that says, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." It sounds simple, but for many people, this is the hardest part. Because how can you believe in something you haven't seen yet? How can you trust your potential when your results are still small or not clear? Let's be honest. Most of the time, you don't trust your potential because you focus on what you cannot do. You see your mistakes. You see your limits. You compare yourself to others who are better, faster, more confident. And slowly, your mind tells you, maybe I'm not good at this, or maybe this is not for me. I see this a lot as an English teacher. Many learners come to me and say, I can't speak English. But when I talk to them, they can understand me. They can answer simple questions. Maybe not perfectly, maybe slowly, but they can. So the truth is, they are not starting from zero. They already have something, but they don't trust it. And I understand that feeling. Because I used to feel the same. There was a time when I wanted to create more content, share more ideas, and speak more confidently. But every time I tried, I focused on what was not good enough. My voice, my words, my mistakes. So I stopped, not because I didn't have potential, but because I didn't trust it. Then one day, I changed something small. I stopped asking, am I good enough? And I started asking, what can I do with what I have right now? That one question changed everything. So today, I want to give you a very simple way to start trusting your potential. Not by thinking more, but by doing small, clear actions that you can apply right after this. First, see what you can already do, right now. Not in the future. Maybe you can understand basic English. Maybe you can say a few sentences. Maybe you can write something simple. Don't ignore that. That is your starting point, and starting points are powerful. Second, use it every day, even just a little. If you can say one sentence, say one sentence every day. If you can understand a short audio, listen to one every day. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to use what you already have. Because when you use it, you improve it. Third, track your small wins. This step is very important. At the end of the day, take a moment and ask yourself, what did I do today? Maybe you spoke one sentence. Maybe you learned 5 new words. Maybe you tried something you were afraid of. Write it down. When you see your progress, even small progress, your mind starts to change. You start to believe, I am moving forward. Fourth, stop comparing yourself with others. This is one of the fastest ways to lose trust in yourself. There will always be someone better, faster, more confident. But that is their journey, not yours. You only need to be a little better than yesterday. That is enough. Let me give you a simple image. Imagine your potential is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it feels weak. You think, maybe I'm not strong. But the truth is, it's not weak, it's just unused. And when you start using it, even a little, it becomes stronger. Not in one day, but slowly, step by step. The same thing happens when you start taking action. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You may feel unsure. You may make mistakes. But every time you try, you are telling yourself, I can do this. And that message becomes stronger over time. And something beautiful will happen. You will start to see progress. Small at first, but real. You will feel a little more confident, a little more open, a little more in control of your life. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer standing still. You are moving. That's what trusting your potential really means. It doesn't mean you believe you are already great. It means you believe you can grow. It means you are willing to try, even when you are not sure. So today, don't wait until you feel confident. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start with one small action. Speak one sentence. Listen for 10 minutes. Write a few lines. That's enough. Because your potential is not something you find by thinking. It's something you discover by doing. Before we end, I want to ask you one simple question. What is one small thing you can do today to give yourself a chance to grow? Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If something in this episode stayed with you, you can always come back and listen again whenever you need it. Take it slow. Trust yourself a little more each day, and I'll be right here with you in the next episode. Hello, and welcome to the Glow and Grow channel. Take a slow breath and allow yourself to relax for a moment. Every day we spend so much energy working, thinking, and worrying. But many people forget one very important thing. We forget to recharge ourselves. In today's episode, we will talk about how to gently recharge your energy and bring calm back into your mind. Have you ever felt tired even when you did not do something very difficult? Maybe you wake up, check your phone, answer messages, study, work, and talk with people all day. At night you feel very tired, but you are not sure why. This happens to many people. It is not always because we work too hard. Sometimes it is because we forget to recharge our energy. Think about your phone for a moment. When the battery becomes low, what do? You plug it into a charger. You give it time to recharge so it can work again. Your mind and body work in a very similar way. When you keep using your energy without resting or recharging, you slowly begin to feel tired, stressed, and unfocused. But the good news is that recharging your energy is often very simple. Sometimes it starts with something as small as a short pause. For example, imagine you are studying for a long time. Your mind slowly becomes tired. The words on the page start to look confusing. You try to continue, but it becomes harder and harder to focus. Instead of forcing yourself to continue, you take a short break. You stand up, stretch your body, drink some water, or take a short walk. After a few minutes, you return to your work. Suddenly, your mind feels clearer. This is a simple example of recharging your energy. But energy is not only physical. We also have mental and emotional energy. Many people lose energy because their mind is always busy. They worry about the future. They think about problems again and again. They compare their life with other people's lives. All of these thoughts use energy. This is why learning to protect your energy is very important. One simple way to recharge your energy is by giving your mind some quiet time. For example, you can sit quietly for a few minutes and take slow breaths. You can look outside the window and notice the sky or the trees. You can listen to calm music or take a short walk without looking at your phone. These moments may look small, but they help your mind relax. Another powerful way to recharge your energy is through movement. When you move your body, something interesting happens. Your blood flows better, your brain receives more oxygen, and your mood often improves. You do not need a difficult workout. Even a short walk, stretching, or light exercise can help your body feel more alive. Sleep is also one of the most important ways to recharge your energy. When we sleep, our body repairs itself, and our brain organizes information and recovers from the day. But many people sleep too late because they spend a lot of time on their phones or computers. Sometimes the best way to recharge your energy is simply to rest. Let me share a small personal experience. There was a time when I felt tired almost every day. I worked, studied, and tried to be productive all the time. I believed that the more I worked, the more successful I would become. So I kept pushing myself. But something strange started to happen. Even though I was busy all day, my energy became lower and lower. Simple tasks felt difficult. My mind felt heavy. And sometimes I could not focus even on easy work. One evening, I realized something important. I was trying to use energy that I never gave myself time to recharge. So I decided to change one small thing. I did not try to change my whole life. I only added small moments of rest into my day. Sometimes I took a short walk outside. Sometimes I closed my laptop and sat quietly for a few minutes. Sometimes I simply went to bed a little earlier. At first, these changes felt very small. But after a few weeks, something surprising happened. My mind felt clearer. My mood became lighter. And the work that once felt heavy suddenly became easier. That was the moment I understood something simple but powerful. Rest is not wasting time. Rest is how we recharge our energy. And when your energy returns, you can do your work much better. This is an important idea to remember. Many people try to solve tiredness by pushing themselves harder. They work more hours and force themselves to continue. But sometimes the best solution is the opposite. Instead of pushing harder, you pause, you breathe, you recharge. When your energy returns, your mind becomes clearer, your creativity improves, and your motivation grows stronger. This is why taking care of your energy is one of the most important skills in life. So, here is something simple you can try today. Notice your energy. Ask yourself a simple question. Do I need to push forward right now? Or do I need to recharge? Maybe your body needs a short walk. Maybe your mind needs a few minutes of quiet. Maybe you simply need to close your eyes and breathe slowly. These small moments of recharge may look simple, but they are powerful. Because when your energy returns, everything becomes easier. Your focus becomes stronger. Your mood becomes lighter. Your work becomes more effective. And your life becomes more balanced. So remember this simple idea. You cannot give your best energy to the world if your energy is always empty. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is recharge. Take a breath. Take a break. Give yourself a little space to recover. Because when you recharge your energy, you recharge your life. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you planned to change your life, but nothing really changed? Maybe you told yourself, I will start next week. I will start when I feel ready. I just need more time to prepare. But weeks pass, months pass, and your life still feels the same. This is something many people experience. Not because they are lazy, but because they are waiting. Waiting for the right time, waiting for motivation, waiting to feel ready. But here is the truth. Your life does not change when you plan. Your life changes when you act. If you want to succeed in anything, there is one simple rule. You must start. Not perfectly, not confidently, just start. Because every result you see in life comes from action. Without action, even the best idea will stay inside your mind forever. Let's think about this in a real situation. Imagine a student who dreams of getting a scholarship to a good university. They want it very much. They read about it. They imagine their future. They tell themselves, one day, I will try. But they never really begin. They don't study every day. They don't practice English. They don't prepare for exams. They only think. Now imagine another student. This student also has the same dream. But they start small. They study a little every day. They improve step by step. They practice even when they feel tired. At the beginning, they are not perfect. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes they feel slow, but they keep going. After 1 year, they are stronger. After 2 years, they are ready. And one day, they get the scholarship. So what made the difference? Not luck, not talent, but action. Many people believe they need to feel ready before they start. But in reality, readiness comes after action. You don't wait to feel confident. You become confident because you take action again and again. Let's take another simple example. You want to improve your English. You watch videos about learning methods. You search for the best way to study. You create a perfect plan, but you don't practice. Then nothing changes. Now imagine you just do something small. You listen to English for 10 minutes. You learn 5 new words. You speak one simple sentence. It feels small, but when you do it every day, it becomes powerful. Small actions create real progress. One important thing to understand is this. You don't need a big start. You only need a real start. Because big changes in life always begin with small steps. Sometimes we stop ourselves because we want everything to be perfect. But perfection is not the goal. Progress is the goal. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to learn slowly. That is how growth works. So today, don't think about changing your whole life. Just ask yourself one simple question. What is one small thing I can do today? Maybe you listen to this podcast again. Write a few sentences in English. Read one page of a book. Or take a short walk to clear your mind. Just one small step, that is enough. Because success is not one big moment. It is many small actions done every day, step by step, day by day. If you never start, your future will stay the same. But if you start today, even in a small way, you open a new path. A path where you can grow. A path where you can improve. A path where your life slowly becomes better. And before we finish, I want to share something small with you. I wrote this script on a quiet day when I was also thinking about my own life. About the times I waited too long, and the moments I finally decided to begin. I realized that change did not come when I had the perfect plan, but when I took a small step forward. Maybe you are also in a similar place right now. Feeling unsure, feeling a little stuck, or just waiting for something to change. If that is you, I want you to know that you are not alone, and you don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take one step. I truly hope that from today, you will be a little braver, a little more patient with yourself, and a little more willing to try. And I hope that one day, you will look back and feel proud. Not because everything was easy, but because you chose to start. I wish you strength, growth, and many small wins on your journey ahead. So don't wait. Don't overthink. Start small, start now. And trust that every step you take is moving you forward. Think of your life like walking in the dark with a small flashlight. You don't need to see the whole road. You just need to see one step in front of you. And when you take that step, the next step will slowly appear. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." So maybe today, you don't need a perfect plan. You just need the courage to take one small step forward. You can download the learning materials for this lesson in the comment section below, so you can practice more easily and improve your English step by step. Take your time. Come back to this lesson anytime. And let this be one small step in your journey to grow every day. Maybe you are listening while walking, studying, or relaxing after a long day. Wherever you are right now, I'm really glad you're here. Today, I want to talk about something simple but powerful: dreams. Not the dreams we see when we sleep. I mean the dreams in our hearts. The dreams about the life we want to build. When we were children, dreaming was easy. Children say things like, "I want to be an astronaut. I want to travel around the world. I want to create something amazing." Children are not afraid to dream big. But when we grow up, something changes. Life becomes busy. We worry about money, work, and responsibilities. We also worry about what other people think. Slowly, many people stop talking about their dreams. Some people even stop believing in them. But here is something important to remember. Dreams are not childish. Dreams give direction to our lives. A dream is like a small light far away. You may not reach it today. You may not reach it tomorrow. But it shows you which way to go. And that direction can give meaning to your life. Your dream does not have to be something huge. Maybe your dream is to speak English with confidence. Maybe you want to work in another country. Maybe you want to create something meaningful. Or maybe your dream is simply to live a calm and happy life. Every dream is valuable. But there is one important truth. Dreams grow through small steps. Not big steps, small steps. Sometimes people feel stuck because their dream feels too big. They think about the final result, and it feels very far away, so they do nothing. But successful people often do something different. They start small, very small. If your dream is to speak English fluently, you do not need to study for 5 hours today. You can start with 10 minutes. If your dream is to write a book, you do not need to finish a chapter today. You can write 1 paragraph. If your dream is to change your life, you do not need to change everything at once. You can start with 1 small habit. Small actions may look unimportant, but when you repeat them again and again, they become powerful. Think about water and a rock. 1 drop does nothing, but many drops can slowly change the rock. Your effort works the same way. Small actions become big results over time. Another important thing is focus. Today, we live in a world full of distractions. Phones, messages, social media, and endless videos. Our attention moves in many directions. When our attention is scattered, our dreams lose energy. So try to give your dream a small, quiet moment every day. Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes where you focus on one thing, your dream. No scrolling, no distractions. Just you and the step you want to take. You may be surprised how powerful 10 focused minutes can be. Now, let's talk about something every dreamer feels. Doubt. Some days you feel excited and motivated. You believe in yourself. But other days feel different. You feel tired. You feel slow. You feel like you are not improving. Sometimes your mind becomes your biggest critic. It might say things like, "You are too late. You are not good enough. Maybe you should stop." If you have heard these thoughts before, you are not alone. Everyone who follows a dream feels this sometimes. But on those days, you do not need to do something big. You only need to take 1 small step. Maybe today you cannot study for 30 minutes. That's okay. But you can still study for 5 minutes. 5 honest minutes still count. 5 minutes still move you forward. Another helpful idea is remembering your reason. Why does this dream matter to you? Maybe you want to speak confidently with people from other countries. Maybe you want to travel freely. Maybe you want to prove to yourself that you can grow. Your reason gives energy to your dream. And when things feel difficult, remembering your reason can help you continue. Finally, here is a gentle reminder. Your dream is not a deadline. Your dream is a direction. You do not have to reach it quickly. You only need to keep moving toward it. Some days you move fast. Some days you move slowly. Some days you rest. But as long as you keep facing your dream, you are still moving forward. Sometimes you try very hard, but you still cannot see the result. You practice, you learn, and you try again, but it feels like nothing is changing. That feeling can be very frustrating. You may even start to wonder if your dream is really possible. But here is something important to remember. Progress is often very quiet. It happens slowly, step by step. Sometimes you cannot see it right away. But every small effort is still moving you forward. Progress is not about being perfect. Progress is about coming back again and again. Before you finish this episode, ask yourself one simple question. What is one small step I can take today? Not tomorrow, today. Maybe listening to another English podcast. Maybe speaking English for 5 minutes. Maybe writing a few sentences in a notebook. Small steps can create big change. And before you go, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from? I'd really love to know where you are in the world. Maybe we can get to know each other and grow together on this Glow and Grow journey. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember this: dream big, start small, and keep going. Sometimes, the biggest shift in your life doesn't come from learning more. It comes from finally believing that you already have what it takes. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Trust your potential. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever felt like you could do more, but you don't really believe it yet? Like there is something inside you, but you're not sure if it's enough? If that sounds like you, you're not alone. And today, we're going to talk about how to trust your potential in a way that feels real, simple, and possible for you to start right away. There's a famous quote that says, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." It sounds simple, but for many people, this is the hardest part. Because how can you believe in something you haven't seen yet? How can you trust your potential when your results are still small or not clear? Let's be honest. Most of the time, you don't trust your potential because you focus on what you cannot do. You see your mistakes. You see your limits. You compare yourself to others who are better, faster, more confident. And slowly, your mind tells you, maybe I'm not good at this, or maybe this is not for me. I see this a lot as an English teacher. Many learners come to me and say, I can't speak English. But when I talk to them, they can understand me. They can answer simple questions. Maybe not perfectly, maybe slowly, but they can. So the truth is, they are not starting from zero. They already have something, but they don't trust it. And I understand that feeling. Because I used to feel the same. There was a time when I wanted to create more content, share more ideas, and speak more confidently. But every time I tried, I focused on what was not good enough. My voice, my words, my mistakes. So I stopped, not because I didn't have potential, but because I didn't trust it. Then one day, I changed something small. I stopped asking, am I good enough? And I started asking, what can I do with what I have right now? That one question changed everything. So today, I want to give you a very simple way to start trusting your potential. Not by thinking more, but by doing small, clear actions that you can apply right after this. First, see what you can already do, right now. Not in the future. Maybe you can understand basic English. Maybe you can say a few sentences. Maybe you can write something simple. Don't ignore that. That is your starting point, and starting points are powerful. Second, Use it every day, even just a little. If you can say one sentence, say one sentence every day. If you can understand a short audio, listen to one every day. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to use what you already have, because when you use it, you improve it. Third, track your small wins. This step is very important. At the end of the day, take a moment and ask yourself, what did I do today? Maybe you spoke one sentence. Maybe you learned 5 new words. Maybe you tried something you were afraid of. Write it down. When you see your progress, even small progress, your mind starts to change. You start to believe, I am moving forward. Fourth, stop comparing yourself with others. This is one of the fastest ways to lose trust in yourself. There will always be someone better, faster, more confident. But that is their journey, not yours. You only need to be a little better than yesterday. That is enough. Let me give you a simple image. Imagine your potential is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it feels weak. You think, maybe I'm not strong. But the truth is, it's not weak, it's just unused. And when you start using it, even a little, it becomes stronger. Not in one day, but slowly, step by step. The same thing happens when you start taking action. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You may feel unsure. You may make mistakes. But every time you try, you are telling yourself, I can do this. And that message becomes stronger over time. And something beautiful will happen. You will start to see progress. Small at first, but real. You will feel a little more confident, a little more open, a little more in control of your life. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer standing still. You are moving. That's what trusting your potential really means. It doesn't mean you believe you are already great. It means you believe you can grow. It means you are willing to try, even when you are not sure. So today, don't wait until you feel confident. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start with one small action. Speak one sentence. Listen for 10 minutes. Write a few lines. That's enough. Because your potential is not something you find by thinking. It's something you discover by doing. Before we end, I want to ask you one simple question. What is one small thing you can do today to give yourself a chance to grow? Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If something in this episode stayed with you, you can always come back and listen again whenever you need it. Take it slow. Trust yourself a little more each day, and I'll be right here with you in the next episode.